If you sign up for a one-on-one mentorship in real estate, you're an idiot, because your mentor will never be available for you in the moments you need them the most. And that's why having a community is way more important, because you go, okay, I know 75 people in my group and they all have individual strategies and tactics that they bring to the table.
Off the top of your head, how many people have you mentored, like one-on-one, would you say?
None. I think one-on-one mentorships are bullshit.
Okay.
Because here's the reality is I'm not going to be available when you need somebody to be available to you, right? So it's like gym stuff is different. That's like one-on-one stuff and gym stuff is so important. But when you're doing real estate, and let's say you're in Georgia and the mentor is not available, but you got a foreclosure going on and you need somebody to jump in and stop a foreclosure or do this, real estate's full of this all the time. You, like, Kelly, you can attest to this in your business. There's like thousands of little things going on in your real estate business that are like, deals have unique situations and structure all the time. If you sign up for a one-on-one mentorship in real estate, you're an idiot, because your mentor will never be available for you in the moments you need them the most. And that's why having a community is way more important, because you go, okay, I know 75 people in my group and they all have individual strategies and tactics that they bring to the table. Like Wes Grant that you'll meet tonight at my house, retired police officers, got $1.5 million in cash. If you go, oh my gosh, I need $10,000 right now to stop a foreclosure, and Pace is in New York City right now on Good Morning America or some stupid shit, and you're like, my mentor's not available, then your mentor failed you, and that sucks. We make so much money in real estate, why would I stop and do a one-on-one mentorship? And when I look at people that are willing to do a one-on-one, I'm like, really? You want to learn from that guy? How many rentals does he have? What does his office look like? What does his organization look like? Does he have what you want? And every single answer is no, they don't. Do your research, like for another couple of months. Every coach you'll run into stopped doing the business years ago. Ask them to see HUDs. So if somebody's online saying, hey, I bought this property, and they don't have the link to a settlement statement in the description, then they're lying. So like when we do our YouTube videos, and you see me on my channel, and I go, hey guys, welcome to 4101 West Flower Street. We bought this property with no money down, da-da-da-da. There's a link in the description with a copy of my receipt that I show that I bought that piece of real estate and I own it. It's on all of my real estate. So like today, we're gonna go to this 160 unit, and I'm gonna learn everything about this 160 unit because my team found this. They did all the things. This is the beauty of having a team. And I will show people on my YouTube video that I make today, it will say, hey guys, I have proof down in the link in the description that we own this piece of real estate on seller finance. If you guys are learning from people that aren't doing that same thing, you should probably question who you're learning from. And I can tell you, if you found somebody willing to do a one-on-one with you, I would say either they're full of shit, but it's more likely that they are not the person that you want to be like. It's like going to the gym and learning from a guy who can't bench 120 pounds. You could teach me the technique and you could tell me my elbows need to be tucked in or whatever else, but you yourself have not done it. I don't believe in one-on-one mentorships. I had, and I've been burned by one, which is why I feel that this way. I had a guy that charged me $47,500 for a one-on-one mentorship. I'll tell you a different version of this. I now have a one-on-one mentor with me, and I pay him 25 grand a month. He's a billionaire though, and he only takes on 10 people. He sold the business for $1.1 billion, and he's like, I donate all the money that you pay me to charity. But he's like, if you're not committed to what I teach you, then you're not gonna do anything, and you're wasting my time. And now with him, I actually created a business with him because I was like, you're the guy I wanna be like, you love your wife, your kids are involved in your business still, I wanna do exactly what you do, or some version of it. How do I get your attention? He's like, you pay me 25 grand a month and we'll be friends. And I'm like, I've been in the game now for 5 years, so I understand, like, great, I'll buy a relationship all day long. Other mentors that I have, different setup. Dan Fleischman, I don't know if you know who Dan Fleischman is. He's a big like social media guy. He's the most connected human being I know. And I go, I want a relationship with you. How do you do that? You invest in something he's doing. So he owns like Everbowl franchises. He owns Cards and Coffee. He owns really cool companies. So I go in and I become an LP in his deals. So I become a limited partner. I go, I'm gonna be a partner with you. I'm gonna cut you a $100,000 check. So now that's not really a mentorship, but it was me paying to say, hey, I'm here and I'm a real person and I'm investing, yes, but really what I want is the relationship with you. So I have a new guy that I'm trying to get his attention. His name's Jeff Fenster. Him and I have become friends. But my first question to him was, what can I invest in? He's not a coach. So I go, what do you have that I can invest in? He's like, I own this company does X, Y, and Z, and Shaquille O'Neal's investing in it. I go, great, where can I send the check? So I send him a $100,000 check. When I was younger and just starting in the business, there were people I would do that for $5,000. Like, I want attention from you. I want to learn from you. What do you have that I can do? Can I buy a deal from you? So there's varying different degrees of making sure you get somebody's attention with money. But I kind of feel like the only way to really learn from somebody and get attention and be in their sphere is to actually pay that commitment fee, essentially. I think the biggest challenge with the people willing to do a one-on-one with you are people that you personally, because you wrote this in your email to me, you're like, I want to learn from somebody that I want to be like. So I would really do your research on that and go, do you have a happy relationship with your spouse? Do your kids still like you? Because that really is the most important thing, right? How is your personal life set up? Do your friends respect you? Are you doing the things and taking the time off that you want, like living the lifestyle? If you want to travel all over the world and do all sorts of cool things, are they doing that? And then I would also ask, would that person show you where they make their money? There's a metric that I heard from somebody about 3 years ago, and they said if you learn from a coach and more than 10% of their income comes from coaching, then you shouldn't hire that coach. Coaching should be a side hustle for them, not their main income, if that makes sense. I would use those as like good measuring sticks for people that you're thinking about hiring. There are people that I think are worthy of a one-on-one with you, but I think those are the people that are like, they've already made it. I know I'm valuable to spend time with. You see what I can do to people, and like, I can dissect your personality, understand where you're at, understand your relationship, give you advice in a different way. I'm really good at dissecting people, but I still don't think I'm worthy of charging somebody one-on-one money. I think the people that should charge one-on-one money, no, I'm not talking about physical coaches and stuff like that. That's like, how do you do anything but one-on-one, you know? I think that if you're gonna learn one-on-one from somebody, you wanna learn not just how to do the business, but how they live their life, and you probably wanna learn from somebody who's already made it in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've spent the last, I'd say 5 years, but really the last 2, just, you know, I love audibles, and I hated reading for most of my life.
Oh yeah, for real.
I absolutely despised it. You know, I'm a scatterbrained kind of guy.
You're a visionary.
Yeah, but I'm also very focused when I find something I like.
Yeah, you're a visionary.
And I go after it. So I have 60 titles in my Audible now over the last 5 years, or maybe even, it might have been just the last 2. And I've read every book about 4 to 5 times, if not 10 to 15 times, because I know we only retain about 10% if you're fully focused when you're reading it that one time.
Right. Or the information becomes more important to you as you advance in life. That book, Rocket Fuel, that I said changed my life, I read it on Audible, like you're saying. 6 months later, I read it again, and I was like, got all new information I wasn't ready for.
Yeah, it's like different almost.
Yeah, because you're a different person.
Yeah, your perspective changes, so does the book.
Yeah.
And the way you look at it. So you start seeing, it's like I tell people, when you watch a movie the first time, you see it one way, but then when you watch it 3, 4, 5, not only do you see things you haven't seen before, but you get a deeper understanding of what's actually going on.
Right.
And you see it for what it is. And so I just try to learn all this material so that I can literally teach it to somebody else, because then I can help somebody else, but also truly know it myself and have that confidence to build something from it.
Right.
And not look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's another reason I just felt like I knew a lot less 5 years ago than I do now. And I look back at myself and I said, why did you wait so long to start reading?
Yeah.
You know, so I feel the same way about real estate right now. I wish I was exposed a lot sooner, but I'm just grateful that I've been exposed at all and have, found my way to where I am now.
Yeah, there's people in my community that come into my community at 81 years old. And they're like, I should have done real estate my whole life. And I'm like, it's never too late. You might not be able to go be a billionaire through real estate because, that compounding effect of owning real estate is not going to be there for you. But why couldn't you be gifting that to your grandkids or somebody else and change the legacy of your whole family? It's never too late. But I always tell people that are younger, like under 40, I'm like, you guys better be so effing grateful that you have come in contact with real estate at 40 versus the people that came in contact with it at 80. So it's a good position to have, is like being grateful that you've at least been exposed to it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just happy to, have this opportunity. It's mind-blowing for me, whether I seem excited or not, I really am, and this is just a really awesome day for me. So I really appreciate what you're doing for us.
Of course, yeah.